Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast. I am joined by two members of the Lonely Island. I want all our listeners to guess who they think they might be. And now you've made your guesses. Say hello to Akiva and Andy, everybody.
Just kidding. It's me, Yarma.
Oh, Yarm.
Nah, just kidding. It's Andy.
So even if all three of you guys are in the same time zone, it's almost impossible for you to get on the same page, correct?
That's right. Scheduling-wise.
Scheduling-wise. And right now, the situation is that Jorma is in Finland.
10 hours ahead.
And it's not going great.
No.
Scheduling-wise.
For example, we left it out of the podcast, but the last 10 minutes, if I could have boiled down the last 10 minutes of conversation we had, it was, but has anybody talked to him?
Yeah.
Has anybody, but I think he said, didn't he say this was good?
Yeah.
Listen, he can do a voice note replying to this, but I'm going to put him on blast. He said if we can do it at 10 a.m. West Coast, which is 8 p.m. Finland time, he's there. And it's 10:15 a.m. and he's not there.
Yeah. So Jorm has been put on blast, or whatever they call that in Finland. Bloost.
He's been put on bloost.
He's been bort on bloost.
Wait, can I bring up something serious about, it's about Sweden, which is close enough, which is the word fart really is what they use for speed. And every sign there is like fart limit for the speed limit. It's
Sorry,
all
this
over
was something serious?
This is something I don't understand how. I saw a speed poster. It was Keanu Reeves. It was the bus. And then it just said fart in huge
You
letters.
forwarded that to me and I was delighted, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's existed. When did that movie come out? 25 years ago? 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Why haven't people been talking more about this?
I want to hear, because I assume in Sweden, the voiceover guys they use in trailers also sound kind of gravelly. It's fart. I want to hear the fart at the end of it, like super high action. Obviously, we love speed.
Keanu Reeves, der fart.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock, Keanu
Is it
Reeves.
because they don't want...
Fart.
Do they not want to get flooded with tourists?
It's not safe for Andy to go there. Wouldn't you say that, Andy?
In what regard?
Like, you can't go to a place where there's a bunch of fart signs.
Well, because my head would explode with joy.
Yeah, you'd giggle too much.
Yeah, it's physically unsafe for me. I would have a heart attack from happiness. It says fart everywhere. It's my dream.
I almost had a heart attack from happiness because a wonderful thing is happening right now, which is Liam Neeson has been on my show twice in the last 3 months. And as we've established, has just finished filming with our friend Akiva. And it's a Naked Gun film. Yes. We're all very excited.
Yes.
But I really love, now I can talk to Liam Neeson about Akiva. And it's so fun just to hear Liam Neeson be like, I love Akiva. Oh, Akiva. I had the most wonderful time with Akiva. You must tell him. You must give him my best. I just spoke to him. I know they did a test screening. I love Akiva.
It's a pretty good impression.
Yeah, not bad.
Keeve or Seth, have either of you guys talked to Liam Neeson about Get in the Cage? Because he did a Get in the Cage.
He did do a Get in the Cage.
Yeah.
I don't have an interesting story, but I definitely on set, between setups, you're bored. I was like, how was it? And he's very self-deprecating because he also hosted, you were there when he hosted, Seth.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s before we got there. And he just would always be like, oh, it was rubbish. I was a terrible host. Yes, it was not. I did terrible, but it's a wonderful show. And he's always very nice and very self-deprecating.
He had a killer line that caught me off guard. In the body of our interview, we said, we want to read just log lines of your movies and see if you can name the film or even the character you played. And the last 10 years of Liam Neeson's career has been some pretty kick-ass action movies. Mm-hmm. And the very first one I read was, a retired hitman gets pulled back in for one last job in Belfast while the mafia is closing in. And he goes, oh, that's Love Actually.
Just right away.
Just really good.
Yeah.
And again, it made me very excited about the deadpan role of Frank Drebin because it was sort of perfectly delivered. He's also, his move the last two times, why we had the idea is I ask him about the movie and he just takes out a piece of paper from his pocket, puts on his reading glasses and reads the actual log line.
Yeah, the press release.
Yeah. He's like, they've put a lot of work into getting it just right. Why should I mess around with trying to put it into my words?
Oh my God, what a treat.
It's a good move.
It will have been out for a couple days when this comes out, but Dad Man Walking, my stand-up special.
Yay.
As officially now, you can watch it. You can stream it on Max. And I only bring it up just because we do talk about Lauren a little bit. And there was Andy, you were very nice. You spoke to the New York Times. Lauren spoke to the New York Times. And Akiva, have you read Lauren's quotes about me in the New York Times? Because they are a dream come true.
Yeah, they're really nice. And then one of them, I'm trying to remember the one where maybe Shoemaker says something really nice about you. Like
I'm just going to read it because it's
okay. Yeah.
Shoemaker, lovely Shoemaker, says about me, he is secretly a brilliant impressionist. But not everyone agrees with that assessment. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, said Lorne Michaels, Meyers' boss at SNL. But he's good enough. But then the writer did something, because I left something out the writer said, which is kind of I think a backdoor burn on Lauren. I'm going to read the full. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, said Lorne Michaels, Meyers' boss at SNL, sounding very much like Meyers' impression of him.
That's right.
Yeah.
By the way, for anyone who has listened to this podcast and has heard Seth constantly ripping on himself, I think we now realize why.
Oh, yeah, because like Lauren got in my head?
Yeah. And still can't let it go.
And then here's the other quote, which is maybe the funniest quote. I'm going to do it where I think it should have stopped, and then I'm going to do the full quote.
This is a Lauren quote? I just want to be clear.
This is a Lauren quote.
Okay.
He's an honorable guy, Michael said, of their own relationship. Michael's added with his signature monotone emotional register, I love Seth. I mean, if I read, that's really special, right?
Yeah. Didn't stop, though.
No, it didn't stop. I love Seth, or I care deeply about Seth, or whatever people say now. Definitely, he's a big part of things for me.
That's honestly still very nice.
It's the best. And by the way, it's so funny. It means so much more to me than I love Seth.
Yeah, because that could just be tossed off. But he was like, or, I care deeply. Like, I want to make sure I get this straight.
I want to get this right.
It means a lot. And I don't want to make it sound like some stupid thing that people say. But actually, he actually does want to make it sound like whatever people are saying now when they don't really mean it. That's the one I want to do.
The best is that 3 different people texted me, you're a big part of things for me.
Oh, my God.
Which is really funny.
That's nice.
It's the best.
Well, Seth, you're a big part of things for me, too.
I will say credit to Lauren. Lauren was the one who said to the reporter, you should talk to Andy because those two are very close.
I heard that when I was called by the reporter. She said Lauren had said that, which I was like, oh, so he knows we're good buds.
So I do want, from a genuine place, it was both really sweet that Lauren spoke to her. And also, I'm just so happy to get the good Lauren quotes.
I mean, look, we going to talk about the juice?
The juice?
Mm-hmm.
What juice?
The Beetlejuice that I got to do, finally.
Oh, I can't believe we buried the juice. By the way, I'm still in a place that I think you're talking about O.J. Simpson. And I'm like, what the fuck happened now? Was there new O.J. stuff?
Oh, my God.
The juice. You did the juice.
I did the goddamn juice.
By the way, before you did the goddamn juice, I did an interview with Vulture. Did you see this?
Remind?
I just did an interview with Vulture where they said, what's the hardest you've ever laughed at SNL? And I said, oh, the first time Andy tried Beetlejuice, where it was buried in Meet the Press.
I mean, look, it was mixed emotions because obviously I would have much preferred to do it as the host of Meet the Press, having nothing to do with the host of SNL and have it make no sense. That would have been my preference.
But you got the juice out there. It was a great juice. It was
Thanks.
Keaton. You sent me a picture of you as the juice. I was very excited. You sent it directly to me. I got to send it to Shoemaker, who wrote back, what the fuck is going on? That was great. I also love, that is a real backdoor burn on Lauren that he brought you in to play Doug Emhoff and ended up so Andy wants to do the juice.
Well, there was no Doug in the show that week. I had to write that in, that me and Streeter, he was like, yeah, we couldn't jam Emhoff in anywhere this week.
It was great to see the juice. I loved it.
Thank you. It was really a dream come true. I've been wanting to be able just do it in a public forum for so long. Getting to actually just do it. You may note, most of the lines were just ripped from the Meet the Press.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. And I also want to note that those lines were all just ripped from Beetlejuice.
From the movie Beetlejuice.
It's just Beetlejuice, a comedic character.
Yeah.
A fantastic comedic character.
I mean, look, there's a ceiling on my juice.
Yeah.
It's those lines. I didn't get to say I got to get married. They cut that. That was hurtful.
I like double BJs.
Thanks for that.
I enjoyed that.
Appreciate that.
It was a lot of fun to finally see it. What a success. And that's you know what? This is some real pre-pod banter before we get to the meat.
Oh, for sure, dude. Sarah Sherman wanted to do Beetlejuice.
Uh-huh.
And it ended up just being her, this is how I dress was the joke, because that joke worked.
That was a good joke.
But she's been sitting on a Beetlejuice.
I mean, don't blow up her spot.
You guys are kin.
I know. I have been loving hanging out with her. She's fucking hilarious.
She's great.
She wears a Killer Clowns from Outer Space hat. And I was like, oh my God. I know that movie.
I also guarantee Kyle Mooney has that movie on VHS.
Oh my God, for sure.
100%.
Probably in his backpack most days.
It's been fun. I got to say. It's been really fun going back.
That's good. I'm jealous of it because I think that as much as I can walk over and visit, like you're back, like living there.
Yeah, but again, also re-inheriting the stress of it and being like, oh, right, this is intense.
Right.
It's a little more mellow. Me and Maya have been talking about like it's a little more mellow because we know why we're there specifically. But, I mean, like that last show, I was like, if this Beetlejuice thing doesn't work, I'm just going to be here and not do anything. And that puts you right back in the feeling of being a cast member of like, you're always at risk.
I mean, I would have hated it to happen, but it would have been good podcast content if you had done Beetlejuice Address and they cut you right before air. So you were fully in full juice.
If I was just at Goodnight's full Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's the best.
46-year-old man.
Just a fan.
The only thing that would have been good is if you had gotten Keaton to thank Beetlejuice 3 times in Goodnights.
And then I disappeared.
Yeah.
3 times and I'm gone.
That's it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to see you.
Thanks, man. And I know Keith was happy for me.
I really was. It was like we were finally back on the correct timeline. Things had corrected. Beetlejuice had been on the air at SNL and things had been made right.
Totally. This is post-snap.
Exactly.
The Lonely Island podcast is supported by Airbnb. Hey, Yorm.
Hi.
You know how last summer my family and I circumnavigated the globe?
I do, and I was jealous.
Took a balloon, went around the world, took somewhere between 79 and 81 days, and while I'm doing it, I'm thinking I should Airbnb my place, right? I would be nuts not to look into it. You know how expensive it is taking a balloon? Just the propane to keep it aloft?
I know you spent an arm and a leg on that trip, and I commend you for wanting to chip away at that nut.
Of course, because otherwise you're stressed the whole trip.
Otherwise, you're a fool.
You're a fool. You said it, and you're the first to say it. A lot of people don't realize they might have an Airbnb of their own right under their noses. It's a low-lift way to make sure you're using the space and even earning some money. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
Don't be a fool. Crack that nut. Support for the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast comes from Vuori. I'd like to take umbrage with something that Seth said last week, I believe, where he was saying that as Chaka, I didn't work out a lot. I literally just got off the exercise bike here at 7 o'clock in the morning in Finland, okay? So eat that, Seth. And you know why? It's because Vuori draws inspiration from the coastal California lifestyle, which I like to bring to Finland. They make products that stand the test of time and hope to inspire others all over the world to live vibrant, healthy lives, which I am, Seth. You know what I love about it? Their Dream Kit fabric is super soft, it's lightweight, it's a relaxed fit, so I look great, feel great while I'm on the exercise bike. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off of your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/island. That's VUORI.com/island, which is also spelled ISLAND. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. order over $75 and free returns. So go to vuori.com/island and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. I'm going to go back to the exercise bike.
You know, I realize now we're really testing my premise. I talked a big game about how we came back from the strike. We did 4 shows in a row, and I remember these shorts really strongly and fondly. And then, the first one was grandkids in the movies, which I really enjoyed.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, not a, maybe safe to say not a banger, right? Like a very fun premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's about right.
I really like these next 2 a lot. I remember them both really fondly. And the first one we're going to talk about is in the Elliot Page show. And what is the title, you guys?
The Mirror.
The Mirror.
The Mirror. I loved The Mirror very much. You guys just watched it. Happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly didn't remember all the turns at all. So I was like watching it like I was just a viewer, and I was shocked how much I liked it. I mean, I know this is for the end of the pod, but it might be Criterion, which I never would have guessed.
I think it is Criterion. I want to say one of the reasons you mentioned the turns. First of all, this is just dumb luck, but it is a very good Halloween digital short.
Wait, why is
And
that?
I think
it's
probably
in March.
Wait, it is in March. That's so funny.
I thought it was Halloween for sure.
But I guess we went on strike right around Halloween, so maybe you guys had this one ready to go.
I don't think so. I think we
So actually, it's so funny. You made a March Halloween episode that only because we're doing a podcast now, it's finally like lining up to its own topicality.
Yeah, it was for this. Yes.
There are 14 turns by my count
Whoa.
in this 2-minute short.
I like that.
So I should say there's 14 scares because this is playing off the trope of somebody opens a medicine cabinet with a mirror, and when they close it, there is someone in the reflection behind them.
I mean, I can start off, Seth, by saying this one was born of my real fear of that happening.
Right.
I was living alone at the time. Kiva had moved in with his then girlfriend.
Shut the fuck up, Andy.
We had gotten duped into watching The Descent.
Oh, the scariest.
There's no mirror scares in it, but I'd seen enough things that mirror scares were like a thing in my life. Also, we're all sleep deprived. I just felt like a lunatic. I had a lot of moments of getting ready for bed and being like, God damn it, if there's someone in the mirror, I'm going to fucking freak out. And so for some reason, it was like in my subconscious a lot at that time. And I was like, I'm going to beat this thing by making it a goof.
That's great.
And that's where it's sort of the basic starting premise. Obviously, we always deal in tropes, but that's why that trope was kind of in my brain. And then it was a classic thing of me coming in to Kiev and being like, hey, I think I've got the first 3 or 4 beats of one. Will you help me now make it actually good? And then we brainstormed all the rest of it.
With Yorm as well.
But I thought Yorm was gone, no?
Yeah, I don't know. Was Yorm there? I was trying to give him credit too, but I think he was still gone. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. He wasn't there. God damn it. I was really trying to be nice because he's not here, but I can't. Listen, it's 8 p.m. It's 8:30 now in Finland. He told us what time to be on. Here we are.
What I know this is well trod about how you famously would ask people want to come with to the bathroom at SNL.
Yeah.
And that was very late at night. But those are like, that was a well-lit office with a lot of people. I had always assumed want to come with was for company. Is it that want to come with, there was a little bit of fear?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because then I would still do that trick that I talked about where Jost would come with me and then I would run out and turn all the lights off in the hall. I think I've talked about that before. And he'd be super scared, obviously.
All right. So Elliot Page is great in this short.
Truly.
Very natural the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No push.
Wakes up, goes to the bathroom, puts the water on, opens up the medicine cabinet, closes it. A very quick shot of you as, is zombie safe?
Yeah, what do we think you are there, Andy?
Just kind of like a goof guy, you know?
Yeah, but you got a bandage on your head.
Yeah.
Bandage on your head, but you also sort of are like ashen color.
Yeah, you're pale.
You do look as though you're bloodless.
Yeah. But I don't think my character is like a zombie that was bit by a zombie. You know what I mean? He's like a ghoul.
Yeah.
Like a goofy ghoul.
Like a goofy ghoul, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Perfect amount of goofy ghoul because we see you for a second, he gasps and turns around and you're not there.
Correct. Classic.
Scare one.
Classic mirror jump scare.
Your head bandage has a big red blood stain on it on the corner. So clearly you had some sort of head trauma. Maybe you're almost in a Beetlejuice way. Maybe you're a dead person that died from some sort of head trauma and now you're...
I think that was definitely the idea.
So you're some sort of ghost.
Speaking of the juice. Yeah.
You'd be in that waiting room with the little head guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all comes back to the juice.
It always comes back to BJ.
Yeah, there you go.
Then he closes it again. You're there again.
Mm-hmm.
Second scare.
Yeah. Already, by the way, getting titters and laughs.
I think the first one genuinely scares the audience a little bit.
Yes.
And then they're laughing like, oh, you actually got me a little.
But I think also, even though it's a split second, it's enough for them to see that this is a very goofy ghoul.
Can I make an observation also while I'm looking at this still frame I have up of you, that you look a lot like your character from Hotel Transylvania when he gets turned in one of the later movies into like a dragony guy?
Huh.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up a side-by-side. We'll get it in the show notes.
Okay, great.
So then he puts his face down, washes his face in the sink. He comes back up. You're in the reflection again. So the second time is also in the mirror. Second gasp, turns around. You're not there. Then looks back in the mirror for a long time. Still not there. and then pop up. So now it's the third one you've just popped up into the shot.
Yeah.
You also have sort of a real goofy hand position.
And there's a sound.
And it's wonderful that we establish the sound you make because it comes back in a really beautiful way.
Goofy Ghoul is trying to communicate. Goofy Ghoul's trying to he's
Right.
trying to connect.
Right. We don't quite know. Certainly he doesn't know that yet. Elliot does not know you're trying to connect.
No.
It's full scary.
Yeah.
Elliot, once again, looks behind, comes back, and now you're just in the reflection.
In the reflection.
This is the fourth time.
Yes.
And once again, he looks behind. Nobody there. Turns back 3 times, and now it's a runner. Now the Goofy Ghoul has some props.
Yeah, we got to let the air out the balloon now.
So Elliot's turning back and forth, and Goofy Ghoul is drinking a fruity drink with an umbrella,
Yeah.
licking a lollipop
Yep, a big, colorful one.
with sunglasses. I
Yeah,
think.
almost like a vacation vibe.
Yeah. And then just doing 2 little 5-pound weights.
Yeah, just pumping some iron, but not too strenuous.
Not too strenuous.
Something that we knew would move very quickly. This is cutaway stuff.
This is cutaway stuff. Right. You have to move fast when it's cutaway stuff.
Yeah, it can't be some big bench press.
So just to establish, it is now 8 scares.
It's moving fast.
It's moving fast. And then Elliot has that moment we see in horror movies of, oh my God, I'm being crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
played so perfectly.
like what do I think's happening? Even though every one of them, I mean, if you've seen now the Goofy Ghoul 8 times,
Yeah,
it's not you.
It's for sure something that was weird is happening, but he plays it perfectly of must be my imagination.
And then he turns around and you are just standing
In the
behind
room.
him.
Yeah.
Which actually I forgot about it and did get me.
He screams and then wakes up in bed. So now we've established this was all a dream.
Yeah.
Everything we've seen so far.
Yes.
So the Goofy Ghoul, obviously, we've established now is just a dream. He walks to the bathroom, opens the door, and it's one of my favorite because I think at the end of the day, this moment might be a thing you're actually more afraid of, Andy, than even a mirror scare. I think this is something every time you go to the bathroom you're afraid of.
That's right. Door opens.
Someone's in here. Someone's in here.
Goofy Ghoul's just
Goofy Ghoul's taking a shit.
taking a shit.
Just reading a newspaper.
With the paper at night, by the way.
Paper at night.
That's his bathroom. He haunts that bathroom because he needs to use it.
Reading a paper in the dark because Elliot turns the lights on. So you've just been night reading a newspaper.
Well, he's in the upside down.
He has night vision, yeah.
It's daytime to him.
But the great part of the newspaper is then you use it to, you have shame.
Yeah,
and you use it to cover your butt flanks. And then, backing up, this is your real fear. Now Goofy Ghoul wakes up in bed.
That's right. It was his dream.
Right.
The whole thing was.
Yeah.
Right. So now we realize we don't even know whose head we've been in. Goofy Ghoul goes to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's the exact reverse of what we've seen.
Yeah.
Opens the bathroom cabinet, takes out some aspirin, closes it, and Ellie's just kind of standing there with a real chill expression.
Looking super mellow, kind of just like a stony grin.
Yeah.
Stony grin. Once again, now we cut back to bed. Goofy Ghoul pops up again. This is also a nightmare.
Yeah.
But then Elliot pops up in bed next to Goofy Ghoul.
Yeah.
So now we don't even know what's going on, whose nightmare this is.
Correct. Or do they know each other? But then you realize they don't because they're like, whoa, it's you.
It's you. And we realize what you've laid in earlier. Goofy Ghoul is just trying to connect.
Yeah. So Goofy Ghoul they start reaching.
Goofy Ghoul seems more afraid than he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a real empathy moment for Goofy Ghoul because he's very afraid.
Which, by the way, there's a children's book called Monster in My Closet or something. And the expressions and the storyline here are actually very close
Yeah.
to Monster in My Closet.
Is this something you knew before or something you've learned since becoming a father?
Well, I realized since I became a father and read it with my kids that I did read it growing up. And I wonder if subconsciously this was part of that.
Well, also the premise of Beetlejuice is like, what if we do a haunted house movie, but we're on the side of the ghosts, from the ghost perspective?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the premise of this is at this moment.
Nightmare in My Closet.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one. It's a Mercer Mayer book.
You and Elliot begin to connect. You begin to extend fingers towards each other. And Andy, just make the noise you made as a... And by the way, the way you're contorting your face is unique. And then now and again, this is 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Perfect.
This is not a long short.
No, we're jamming.
You're jamming and the beats. And really, it's kind of unbelievable how many beats are in it, because now you guys are reaching over to touch fingers, and then boom, between you and bed, we did not realize under the covers, was a werewolf.
A werewolf. And now I wanted to talk to Keeve about this.
Yeah.
First of all, shout out Keeve. The editing and direction is so beautiful.
The editing is so tight.
Thank you so much.
This moment, Forte as a werewolf pops up, but then disappears a split second before the edit.
Is that right?
Yes.
Because it was just like Tyler Durden.
And it's so fucking crazy and specific, but I loved it. Where I was like, oh my God, my brain is not able to process it.
Oh, yeah, he pops away.
He disappears. And what is the meaning behind that? The disappearing. Like the werewolf was never there.
Yeah. Well, none of them were. They're all disappearing. Or were they?
Well, yes, we know by the end. Yes.
Now, Wolfman has, again, led us to an edit. Dracula pops up in bed.
Yeah.
It's Sudeikis.
Yeah.
Immediately after Dracula pops up and gasps, Wig, just as a lady, pops up next to him.
Yeah.
Sweet, you okay?
I just remembered my mom's birthday's tomorrow and I forgot to get her something.
Oh, no, baby. Don't worry. We'll think of something.
Can you promise?
Yeah, I promise.
I love you, Dracula.
I love you, Debbie Lieberstein.
So this is what I surmise. Dracula was the one having the dream of everything that you've seen so far.
Yeah. Whoever wakes up last had the whole dream.
So it was all Dracula's. Then Debbie Lieberstein wakes up, but she's just waking up because she forgot about her mom's birthday.
Yeah.
Right. Then my favorite line of the short by far. I love you, Debbie Lieberstein.
It's letting us know we're in the real world.
Yeah.
That's really Dracula. It's not a nightmare anymore. This is normal.
Or is it?
Except at Debbie Lieberstein, once again, Elliot bolts awake.
That's
Yeah.
right.
She had a terrible nightmare that Dracula was married to Debbie Lieberstein.
And then I don't know if it's because they used to date Dracula and this is their nightmare. Whatever. This bolts Elliot awake, and then a couple of deep breaths, and then the final shot is just next to the bed. Goofy Ghoul pops up.
Yeah, Goofy
Yeah.
Ghoul's in the room.
Do you think that one really is happening, or just like a last second thing to get the last shock and end the piece, Andy?
I think we have to assume, if it's the last one, that Goofy Ghoul is really in the room.
Right.
So the whole time Goofy Ghoul has been real.
And in the room.
Is this the most Inception-y of any of the digital shorts?
Yeah, I would say the one that kind of comes close is the ending of Everyone's a Critic with Paul Rudd.
Oh, right.
Which we will get to, where we keep, again, Russian doll kind of nesting the thing into another thing.
Yeah.
But this one has way more moves.
A real jewel box.
On the YouTube clip that if anybody, watching goes and finds, it says SNL Digital Short, The Mirror, parenthetical, featuring Andy Samberg, Jason Sudeikis, Elliot Page, and parenthetical, like as if this is a song featuring Snoop Dogg.
Oh. Well, I mean, there's a musicality to the editing.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm sure that's what the digital team over at NBC was thinking.
Since you're on the page, give us the most popular comment and the most recent comment.
So, sort by top comments. Here we go.
Most recent you're going to enjoy. It's only 2 hours ago.
Samberg would be the worst ghost ever. Couldn't scare anyone. Smiley face.
Oh.
Are you on the same as me?
No, I haven't done most recent yet. I was doing top.
All right, here's most recent. Andy's zombie voice is identical to the Beetlejuice impression he did last week.
Not true. Absolutely untrue.
I feel like this was a way to get his Beetlejuice into the show after he tried and failed many times. I feel like this person doesn't know that you got it on last week.
Well, that person also doesn't know that The Mirror was way before I started trying to do Beetlejuice on the show. So, in your face.
But by the way, Seth, you paraphrased. He said, I feel like this was a way to get his, quote, BJ into the show after he tried and failed many times.
I did paraphrase.
Yeah, well, I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's a very funny comment. Somebody just wrote too much Forte. Which is really funny.
Just that one flash.
Like a half a second.
Hey, not to switch back, but it was kind of cool that Alec Baldwin was there watching us do Beetlejuice to Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
When we were rehearsing, because he was there to rehearse the cold open after.
Pretty nice.
And he was like, I remember when he like hocked a loogie in his pocket and said, save that for later. I remember when he did it, I laughed so hard. It was one of my favorite things in the whole movie. I was like, well, clearly same.
I didn't even think about that was
Yeah.
a reunion.
Yeah.
Mulaney texted me congratulations on the Steelers beating the Jets. And he said, I know you needed a victory after losing your years-long battle of keeping Andy's Beetlejuice off SNL.
He did not.
He did write that.
Well, he's correct. You were
But I wasn't dead set against it. I was a non-starter, I think.
you were a gatekeeping piece of shit. Never before has such a dear friend been such a vital enemy.
Support comes from Fitbod. Keeve, you know that I've been working on my bod for like the last 4 weeks, right?
Of course.
And you know that I'm trying to get basically from my ears to my lower intestine, just shredded, that whole area. And so new thing that I've just discovered is the app Fitbod, which has helped me tremendously because my regimen before, all over the place.
I'm honestly just confused why you're telling me because I already know all this because I see your bod every day and it's looking amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
So much. And you notice the areas that I'm focused on, right?
Yeah, and every day I go, how are you getting such a fit bod? And what do you say?
I say, Fitbod, right? I say it like that to you, Pat.
Yeah, you say it like that.
Seriously, the app is great. Fitbod creates a personalized workout routine based on your goals, whatever they are or how specific they are. Fitness level, available equipment that you have. The workouts adapt to your growth, so each workout is challenging enough to push you to make progress. It's like a personal trainer for your earlobe to lower intestine area or any area that you want to work on.
It probably goes down to the ankle, Yorm.
You know what? It does, but it's cheaper and easier to build a custom fitness plan that works for you with Fitbod. Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout and keep up your momentum. Lock in and stay focused. Join Fitbod today and get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.com/island. That's FITBOD.me/island.
There's a sketch I really enjoyed in the LA show going back and watching again. Andy, you're really funny in it.
Ooh.
It's the College for Excellence. Do you remember anything about this?
No, but I feel like if you tell me the premise, I will.
It starts with Keenan, Elliot, and Wig are in sort of a janky-looking office, and they're just talking in weird, vague business things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me the Anderson files. We need that right away. I thought my assistant gave you that yesterday. Quick, what's the fax number for this fax? That sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fred comes out, and it's an ad for the College for Excellence that just teaches you how to talk like a business person.
That's funny premise.
And while he's doing it, you come in behind him, and you've got a manila folder, and you're supposed to obviously pin something on a bulletin board and walk out, and you look at the camera the whole time. And Keenan reads a bunch of example lines, and Wig mouths along to all of them.
Yep.
There's just some nice moves. Also, they cut to where it is, and it's on 32nd Street between 5th and 6th above a Chinese or Korean restaurant.
I know what you're saying. Look how cheap that place looks. That's so tacky looking. Well, laugh it up because actually real estate in New York is just like that. And there's all kinds of situations where one business is on top of the other one. It's just the way it is here. Here at the college...
That's a great joke.
So it's really funny and it's playing. But then there's a turn at the end, which is so memorable and actually a little bit sad. But it says at the end, he's a guy who has this company.
Yeah.
And he basically asks people not to make fun of the commercial.
I do sort of remember this.
And also while he's doing it, because it's really heartfelt, Andy, you walk in again. And clearly the other actors who are off screen are telling you to leave, but you can't, you're very confused by it.
You guys are all laughing at this, and you're saying to your friends, all these late night commercials, they're so cheesy. But this is a decent establishment, and it really helps some people, and I've seen it work. And if it's not for you, then great, you move on. But, you don't go sending us around any email going, oh, look at this, you should see this place, it's so stupid, Don't do that, so that's it, Roll the end pod. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I mean, just an incredible amount of pathos in that performance from Fred.
Yes.
I love that.
It's really amazing.
To be clear, that aired.
That aired.
That's awesome.
That aired top half of the show.
It's a giggler. It's not like a killer.
No.
But it's so fun to watch.
I think one of the things you also realize is oftentimes gigglers age very well.
Agreed.
And you go, oh, yeah, because everything that's funny about that is still very funny about that now.
Andy, I just found the promos. It's you and Wilco and Elliot. And then there was one we shot at that Italian restaurant with you and Bill and him sitting at a banquette.
That must have been still really early days of Tuesday promos, right?
Yes, very early.
I remember in the beginning finding doing that very fun because we could start fucking with the format a little bit.
Yeah.
Couple of political cameos in this episode. Do you guys want to guess?
Ooh, Akiva has a Late Night with Seth Meyers mug.
Yeah, he does. He's drinking from it right now.
My favorite coffee mug.
Okay, so do we want to guess real-life politicians stop by?
2 real-life politicians stop by.
I've seen the rundown. I can't guess. I know it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Andy.
One of them appeared in a sketch where one of a cast members was playing them, and the other one was on Update.
Was it Governor Patterson?
No, a little early for Governor Patterson. It was Hillary Clinton, who was running for president.
Amazing.
And it was Rudy Giuliani, who was running for president.
Yeah, they were, both.
Yeah.
I would say simpler times for both of them.
For both of them, yeah. Although I think Hill's got a pretty simple life right now, but of course a lot of stuff happened between...
I just mean a lot more road behind them.
Yeah, a lot more road behind them. Wilco was a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite bands. I was very psyched to have them on the show. That's just me saying something was special for me. I mean, I'm allowed to do that,
and that's
right?
great.
Every now and then.
And they were great.
I like hearing about that kind of thing.
Here's something I did. I got a poster from all their old tours from almost every city my friends who loved Wilco were in.
Yeah.
Like my friend who lived in Boulder, I got an old Boulder Wilco, and I had them sign it all, and they were very cool about that.
Seth, I know what I would say to this question, but would you say that when they played on the show that they rocked?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
There's also a wonderful sketch at the end of the show that Paula Pell wrote, where Elliot comes home from a Melissa Etheridge concert and is telling you about it, Andy. And you basically are figuring out that maybe they decided they were gay while they were there based on their enthusiasm for it.
That was the actual concert.
Oh, Melissa was insane! And her girlfriend came out and sang something with her, and they showed us slides of their kids, and it was so inspiring. And then the Indigo Girls came out as a surprise, and I was like, ah! Ah!
Were there any guys there?
No. And then they all sang Closer I Am to Find together in this great big Leslie jam, and that is such a memory song for me.
It is?
Yeah, and then Ellen DeGeneres came out and did this bit about being in the closet when she was young, and I was like, ah!
Yes. I seem to recall the specificity of it being very Paula-esque in a way that was exciting.
There's something you say like, are you gay now? It's like, I mean, what does gay even mean? I mean, I feel like an oil lamp that's never been lit.
Exactly.
So guys, managed without Yorm. And I will say, I'm going to put it Criterion. Mirror for me is Criterion.
Depends how many slots we have at the end. It might get bumped off.
We're going to have to go back. We're going to have to do a whole Criterion episode.
It made me laugh way more than I was expecting upon re-watching it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best ones we've watched.
Yeah, the pace of it was just really nice. And it kept building and building, and then it got out.
Plus 4 members of Anne Golden Era.
That's right.
For me, there's a weighted grading system that the more members of Anne Golden Era you get in a short, the better. So this was great.
Anything else fun in the episode, Seth Lee?
There was a sketch. It's always funny when you realize, a movie was out called The Other Boleyn Girl. And there's a sketch where they keep adding additional Boleyn girls. Wig shows up as the other Boleyn girl, and she's not as good looking. And she maybe just had sex with a horse.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah, does that tick the box of something fun for you?
Sure.
Yeah, it's good times. And there's the most Simon Rich sketch, which is a Peter Pan sketch where a very funny hater as Captain Hook basically gives a big speech about, hey, let's just be on our toes because Peter Pan always shows up. It's just him and a bunch of kids, and there's really no reason we, a bunch of pirates, should get caught off guard time and time again and let him steal our treasure.
Yeah.
And then Elliot, lowered from the rafters, does a song, steals the treasure. The pirates just stand there and watch.
Yeah.
Leaves. And then it's just Bill being like, all right, guys, so what do we think went wrong that time? And I think the third beat is Polar shows up, a very good sort of green screen Polar's Tinkerbell. And Hader comes out and slaps her out of the air and steps on her a bunch. And you just hear like the crunching bones of Tinkerbell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but of course, everybody cheers Tinkerbell back to life. But it is, you could also imagine Simon writing a short story about like Captain Hook entering in his captain's log, how disappointed he is with his
Definitely.
his crew.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff.
All right, so moving on, next week is Amy Adams. And one of my favorite shorts to watch, the one that we're going to do next week, is called Hero Song.
Oh, wow.
And I love you guys.
Love you, buddy.
Love you.
Wait, Seth.
Yeah,
So you do think Wilco rocked?
I do.
Yeah, same. All right. Love you.